Hello, it's the Ranny Duck and welcome back for another video. Today we've got two replays to show you in the tier 10 mercenary premium tank destroyer, the Ruthless. Now the first replay we've got to show you today is on Nellenberg, where there's two enemy artilleries and one enemy light tank to deal with. And if you want to see the crew and equipment setup I am running in this tank, you can see that at the bottom of the screen as I speak. So we're in the Ruthless, which is basically another version of the Death Star, the FE1005. Very similar in terms of the gun, except for the Ruthless does have sort of a rotational turret with some decent armour, I should say. More so than obviously the FE1005. And yeah, it's an okay tank now since it's had the buff. It had the buff quite a long time ago. When it first came out, it wasn't very good at all, really. But now it's not actually too bad. Now we're going to try and get a shot into this enemy tank destroyer, and we start off with a good game. Penning our first shot for just over 1,000 damage. And we do like to run the ammo swapper in this tank so that we can swap between the shells. And obviously you have a big long reload, but kind of all the shells are useful here. You see, I swapped to the HE because I know I can finish this tank off without actually needing to pen this a mill if I get an opportunity to. And that's why I like to sort of have the shells, because I can just swap between them when I need to. You've got that 310 AP pen, which is good, and then you've got obviously a 230 pen on your Hesh pen, but then for 1,450 damage. And obviously you can pen quite a lot with the 230 Hesh, but then you also have 92 penetration on your HE rounds, but for a whopping 1,650 alpha. So that's why I like to swap between the rounds, and that way whatever tank you come across, you can just choose the round which is going to give you the optimal damage and the best chances of penning as well. So we've kind of pushed up onto the castle here because we've got opportunities to shoot these tanks in the side, and we actually go for a Hesh pen on this tank. We know we shoot just below the tracks there so it doesn't get absorbed in the track. We can full pen him with the 230 Hesh, which is exactly what we did. Puts him onto a one shot and he gets shut down by our friendly medium. And we're off to a good start, 2,600 damage. We've still got the remaining of our hit points, and we're picking up quite a bit of, starting to pick up a little bit of assistance as well. So not a bad start to this game. We're kind of taking a lot of control of the game, as you can see. We've taken quite a few key areas of the map. I suspect most of the tanks are now going to be camping in their spawn area. There will certainly be a lot of tank destroyers on their sort of camping TD ridge, which we do spot as we push up to see if we can try and work any shots into them. Use a HE round to finish off that enemy Skoda there, because it's on no hit points. There was no point wasting another round for it. And we pick up our first kill of the game. Shame we didn't have some more hit points, because we could have picked up a chunk of that with HE, penning that quite comfortably. But we do pick up a kill. The game is still fairly even, but I would say we've got more control of the map, really. The enemy team are somewhat pinned back into their spawn area, but I'm kind of waiting for us to push forward and spot them. Obviously, I've got to be careful here, because when I do get detected, I can obviously get shot from the hill, which is a little bit awkward. There was an enemy type there, which was looking to try and get a shot into them. Unfortunately, bounced with our AP rounds there. Maybe we could have aimed a little bit better to get the pen on the type there, but not to worry, we're still in a game. Like I say, it is still close. We only have a one tank advantage, and trying to get our mediums to push up now to really pincer the enemy team and put them in an awkward situation. Unfortunately, a heavy tank has managed to actually come around the back of us here, so I need to kind of turn my attention to that tank. The enemy fun police is alert to my presence and trying to shoot us here, making my life a little bit awkward. We hopefully should be able to pen this enemy VK here coming round though. We do exactly that with the AP going straight through his side of his turret as he turned for us there. Putting him onto a potential one shot to us now, and a definite one shot to us now. We pen with our AP. It's awkward because I'm having to sort of push over to get the gun to pressure, which puts me in a little bit of danger. Hopefully we can just put this shot straight through his lower plate though and pick up the kill. We do that, picking up our second kill. As you see, artillery is starting to splash us here, and he has damaged our crew, which is not ideal because we still have 44 seconds until we can use our refillable repair kit there. But we're still in a decent position. We've got 4,500 damage, 1,000 assistance. The game is still close in terms of the scoreboard, but again, now our enemy team are moving up. It's going to keep these tanks kind of fully detected in their base and allow us to get shots on tanks on the hill. Enemy F3000 Firebear unfortunately doesn't really have a lot of damage for us, and we managed to hit that shot with the full bloom because of our damaged crew, and yeah, pick up a nice shot there, putting us under 5,600 damage now, with 1,000 assistance and 2 kills. At this point, yeah, my med kit is pretty much coming off repair, so I can repair that and get all my crew back to life now, and I should be able to, you know, have a more accurate gun. Just hoping something's going to get spotted on this hill, but I feel like it's that time where I may have to just decide to move in. I'm looking at that tank destroyer below us, thinking I'm just going to go in for this tank now. If I want to get anything more out of this game, I kind of just need to get into the action there. Managed to get down without eating any damage, but you know, the TD we was going to try and kill gets shut down by a friendly F3005, meaning there's only 6 tanks left in the enemy team, which are all now pretty much on top of the hill. It's only the real place they can be. As you can see, we've kind of taken control of the rest of the map. So I'm just moving in and hoping to get some shots in before this, you know, game comes to a close, really. Pick up a bit more assistance as we make our advance towards the enemy position there. And yeah, we just want to get round now and get into the action. You know, there's still an artillery there. We can easily pen that with HE. I don't know how much hit points it has. I'm hoping some of these tanks are quite healthy, because I'd really want to get another couple of big pens in here just to boost the damage from this game. You know, I can get another, you know, at least 1 or maybe 2 full pens, and it could turn like a good game into a really good game. But we just haven't, you know, we don't know the hit points of the tanks yet. So we're moving up. We shut down that enemy Borsig there, who was a one-shot to us, putting us on to just shy of 6,000 damage with 3 kills. And only 3 tanks remaining. This game is certainly won at this point. But are we going to be able to get another shot in here? We don't really want to get penned by this enemy tank destroyer as we come around. Sorry, enemy type 5. But we want to try and get that last you know, AP pen in. We do that, putting us onto 6,600 damage and picking up some more assistance, putting us onto 1,800 assistance now with 4 kills and only 2 tanks remaining. Can we get a last kill in there to pick up the 5th kill? Only time will tell. We should have shots onto the rear of this heavy tank, but it gets shut down before we're able to get off that reload there. And that brings us then to replay number 1, but we still have one more replay to come. So let's move on to the final replay and see how we got on there. Okay, so here we are for replay number 2. This time we are on Pale River. We are platooned up with our pal Swindle 321, who is in his artillery, and it's team destruction, so we don't have to worry about getting capped out. And it looks like there is 3 enemy light tanks on the enemy team and 1 enemy artillery. So initially on team destruction from this spawn, we are going to head into what I like to say the sort of heavy flank, if you like, and hope there be some tanks here contesting us so we can get into a little bit of brawl. We do have some support coming with us, and yeah, should hopefully get an opportunity to fight. You know, thankfully we do have a bit of support, otherwise I couldn't really gone here by myself, but we have the support today, so hopefully we can get into a little fight here. Enemy tank gets spotted being aggressive, and yeah, started off the game with a great little kill there, taking out the enemy light tank, and yeah, it's a good way to start the game. And we didn't lose any hit points for it as well, so we're going to try and push forward now. Like I say, I have a heavy tank and a tank destroyer, so pushing up with us. Hopefully we can try and get a shot into this enemy tank destroyer. It'd be nice to put him onto a one-shot nice and early. Got to be a little bit careful though, because you know, I don't quite have the gun depression when I poke this ridge. It makes it somewhat awkward. Looking to get a shot into the heavy tank. We do that, and he gets shut down and puts us onto 2,600 damage. Enemy tank destroyer is going to put 1 into us. There's not a lot I can do to stop this at this point. Wiggling to try. He does in fact pen that, puts us onto, well, not quite a one-shot to him, but we lose almost half our hit points. So not ideal, but we have managed to take out 2 tanks, so it's not the worst of situations. We're just going to need to get our tanks to coming with us really to take care of these tanks as quickly as we possibly can. I am backing up slightly though, because I'm hoping this enemy heavy tank here will poke around the corner, and that will allow us to get a shot into this enemy E5. Looking for the cupola shot. If we're lucky, we might be able to pen his cupola here. Unfortunately, we bounce off of the E5 cupola, which is not ideal. And my support is kind of getting taken out. We do have a Waffle E100 with us here though, so we're going to back up around the corner now. I can't really use the ridge where I was because I'm going to get shot from multiple angles. So my best bet is really just to pull back and bring the enemy tanks into us. Unfortunately, although I'm trying to get out of the way of this Waffle, if he keeps reversing at me, it's going to delay the inevitable really. He needs to just get off us like that, and then we can actually pull back. So that's what we do. We pull back around this corner, and then we're hoping to try and aim this corner here. And if they come round, they're going to be walking into a Waffle and a Ruthless, and they're going to eat a bit of punishment for that. So we do need to stay patient. It's well, we're losing the game. We're one tank down, but it's definitely not lost here. But I'm just going to have to wait for these tanks to come with us. Enemy E5, if he pokes around the corner, we should be able to put the AP in him, but then I get slapped by that enemy TD who's moved around the other side, and that's far from ideal. I'm now on 200 hit points, and I'm kind of fearing the worst at this point, I must admit. Waffle E100 is going in to try and shut down this E5 here. He's putting his clip in. He is on a one shot now. That's why I've swapped to the HE rounds, because I don't need to actually pen him here. If he comes down this corner, I should be able to get a shot. Unfortunately, the Waffle kind of pushes in front of us. He's trying to get out of dodge there, but I could have probably staved him from actually taking any damage, which is a bit of a shame. Tank Destroyer is on the left-hand side, which shot me in the side. We're in a close game in the 7 versus 7. I want to try and pay my returns back to that enemy V5, which I do, who put us onto a one shot earlier. Puts us onto 3 kills, 3,000 sort of 600 odd damage. But yeah, we don't have a lot of hit points to spare now. Thankfully, we bounced that shot, and we've got to be a little bit careful with 200 hit points. We are in fact a one shot to all the remaining tanks now. Looking to try and get a finish here on that enemy tank. Unfortunately, our shot doesn't quite connect there. Like I say, you are in this type of tank, you are going to miss the odd shot if you don't fully aim it, but that is to be expected really. But yeah, it's in a close game, 5 versus 5. I do like it when you get these close games towards the end. It makes it a lot more interesting than it being that sort of dominant one-way effect. You know, those sort of train games where you're either winning like by 15 tanks or losing by 15 tanks are kind of boring. But with it being a close game now, we've got to try and really focus to try and get the victory here. We're going to move to sort of the centre of the map is our plan, to see if we can try and get any shots onto tanks on the enemy base. You don't obviously, being that it's a team destruction, we're not worried about getting capped out. I am just worried about something coming around that corner, being that we are on a one shot. We can't eat any more shells now, which is not ideal. So we're just going to sort of poke around this corner, and then hopefully try and take the middle of the map and get in there, because then we're going to have multiple shots at different potential angles, depends on what gets spotted. I forgot to mention actually, in this game, on our team, we've actually got Titan Eclipse in his Panzerjäger. So yeah, I'm sure you've seen his channel. It's well worth taking a look. But that was just by complete chance. We happened to be in the same game as each other, and I don't think I really realised actually till the end of this video that he was in fact playing in the same game as me. So definitely worth a while checking out his channel. So we're just going to wait here now, because you can see our team are pushing round through the heavy flank. My theory is if they push up, they're going to potentially spot the tanks in the enemy base, and I might be able to provide cover. I've just got to be careful something doesn't sneak up on us and come around behind us and take us out, because that's not going to be ideal. Enemy artillery gets spotted. Do we have a shot into him? We load the Hesh rounds because we can pen him. We then swap to the HE rounds because we can pen him with the HE. And that's exactly what we did. And that's the beauty of the ammo swapper, so you can choose between those rounds there, because that meant we was able to kill that artillery in one shot rather than having to use the AP, and then we wouldn't have necessarily killed him in one shot. So that puts us onto 5,000 damage with 4 kills and 3 tanks remaining. So still very close, but we don't have to worry at least about getting shot from the sky now. We're going to move up again to, if our TDs push forward, they are going to, potentially light what's in their base, and we will have opportunities to shoot what gets spotted. So we're pulling around looking for a shot, but we get detected there, and then we get targeted, so we need to pull back into cover. We cannot afford to take any chances at this stage with our hit points, and we've just got to wait for those tanks to actually get detected. You can see while I'm waiting, I've kind of turned around just in case tank was coming behind us. If they want a one shot to us, we can at least then take them out in one shot, because we only have that 200 hit points, and we do need to be very, very patient, here, like I say, being on the one shot. We don't want to throw this game away, because we've had a good game, but there's still a lots more opportunities in this game to pick up a few more damage. I don't quite know the locations of all the tanks. I know there's a medium here, and I know there was something else. I think there's a Borsig on the enemy team left. If my memory serves me right, I think that's the enemy tank. Sure, I'm not 100% sure on that. So if so, it's going to be very difficult for us to actually spot that tank. Every time we poke there, we get targeted. So we're going to try and move around to a different angle and see if we can find any other way to try and help our team get shots into these tanks. So I want to help my team out, but I just can't actually find the correct angle to get shots at this tank, and I'm very conscious of pushing out into the open. If we had full health here, we could just push straight across and just eat shots in order to take out the enemy team, but we just don't have that luxury at the moment. Our friendly tank destroyer gets taken out, which brings this game back to a 3 versus 3. Gets shut down by the Action Rex there. We're looking to try and find shots on the Action Rex. We don't quite have the shots. Again, we get detected and targeted when we poke round into that gap, which makes it a little bit awkward. Our Waffle E100 though does take out the Action Rex, so if that was the tank which was spotting us, then that's obviously quite helpful. It does allow our team to try and push forward a little bit more. We're now going to turn around and go back to the middle just in case something comes behind us. And actually it does happen, the enemy RU comes around. So that was good timing that we turned around then. Otherwise that game would have been over. And thankfully we hit our shot and take him out. And it was low enough hit points for us to kill him in one shot. And that brings us to 5 kills, 6,000 damage with 500 blocks. And the 1 enemy tank remaining. We have swapped to the Hesh. Again, we don't know how many hit points this tank has, but I think it is an enemy Borsig, and we can pen it with the Hesh or the HE, but the Hesh should be plenty enough to kill the Borsig. So he does get spotted. It is actually, it's an Iron Rain, isn't it? Not a Borsig, but yeah, pretty much very similar tanks. And we get to connect that shot, so we pick up our 6th kill, getting 7,400 damage. You see Titan Eclipse has a good game as well. I think we do pick up the ace tank for that one, we do, and the high caliber. And that brings us to an end of the video, so thank you so much for your amazing support, and as always, happy tanking.
Enemy in sight! Hadouken!